Hey, this is Kevin David Rail, Chief Fitness Advisor for Wild Warrior Nutrition. And today I want to clear the air on something known as somatotypes, also known as body types. So you hear about these three terms, ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph, or sometimes called mesomorph, depending on who the person is. And I want to flesh them out a little bit more so you kind of get an understanding of the body types out there. And I'm standing here in front of you shirtless because I want you to see pretty much what an ectomorph slash mesomorph body style looks like. So I kind of fall into that category. So people who are tall and lean, who have a hard time putting on weight, also known as hard gainers, fall into the category of ectomorph. So they have long limbs, I've got long arms and legs, and they have a hard time packing on huge amounts of muscle. We struggle with things like bench presses, squats, pull-ups, anything that has to do with pushing weights from a far distance away from your body. Ectomorphs struggle in those categories. However, on the adverse, the ectomorph body style has an easier time building lean muscle mass, and they have a faster metabolism, so they don't hold on to fat much, and in some cases they eat 3,000 to 5,000 calories a day trying to put on bulk and put on muscle, and they have a hard time. So if you are an ectomorph, exercises that would be fortuitous for you would be compound exercises like the bench press, like the deadlift, like the pull-up, walking lunges, stuff like that. Anything that has to do with moving multiple joints and recruiting multiple muscle groups at the same time are going to be beneficial for you ectomorphs out there to put on more muscle. So when I say I fall in between an ectomorph and mesomorph, the mesomorph body style is the person that can put 500 pounds up on a bench press and pull 500 pounds off the ground in a deadlift, and they have the natural bigger body style with more muscle mass, and their ability to lose fat is somewhere in the middle. They're usually, I would say, I don't know exactly the body fat percentage, I'm not going to go there, but I am going to say that the mesomorph body style is the one who can put on the muscle really easily and really quickly, and also maintain it over time, and they have a relatively easy time burning fat too. So bodybuilders are pretty good examples. Guys that are short and really stocky and bulky that have a lot of muscle mass would fall into the category of mesomorph. And like I said, I have a tendency to be able to lean out really, really lean if I want to, and I can put on a moderate amount of muscle, but I know for a fact I will never get huge and bulky like, say, Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I focus on my strengths. I'll get back to that in a second. Now, the third category is the endomorph, and that is the person who has a hard time losing fat. They have a slower metabolism. They have a hard time building a ton of muscle. Sometimes they can build a decent amount of muscle, but they always kind of have this roundness to them. So they have a little bit of extra weight, a little bit extra fat. It sometimes becomes frustrating for them. So those are the three categories. Now, ectomorphs, like I said, exercises would be like your compound exercises. Try to bulk up. I'm a big fan of fasting as well, and I say you can use fasting as a tool in all three body styles. It's just that if you're an ectomorph, you don't want to do a constant amount of long fasts, like 2 and 4 and 5 day water fasts. I would suggest not doing that. Stick with something more like a time-restricted eating protocol where you're still fasting 14 to 18 hours a day, eating about 2 meals, and just make your meals a little bit bulkier. That's how I can best describe it to you. If you want, you can always go to like 12 hours or 13 hours of fasting and eat 3 meals and no snacks in between, and then just kind of incrementally increase the calories in those 3 meals, and your body will adapt. And then over time, you can try to put on some weight. So that is for you hard gainers out there and you ectomorphs. The mesomorph or mesomorph body style, anything really goes in that category, I would say, as far as your diet is concerned and your weight training. Compound exercises again. Also a little bit of circuit training if you're trying to like lean out a little bit more and try to maintain that balance between having more muscle and more definition than more fat on your body. And obviously cardio is going to be beneficial across the board as well. Obviously if you're an ectomorph, you don't want to do a ton of cardio. Some people say never do cardio, it's not good, and blah blah blah. If you're an ectomorph, you're just going to burn your calories off. That's not true. Always do cardio. Just keep it shorter, and you don't have to do high intensity crazy cardio. I do high intensity crazy cardio just because I'm Kevin David Rail, and that's how I'm wired. I love it because it makes me feel good. So doing works best for you, but if strictly you are trying to bulk up as an ectomorph, then stay away from the high amounts of cardio and the high amounts of high intensity cardio, because you do want to maintain as much mass as you possibly can. For the endomorph, my suggestion is definitely do of an aggressive form of fasting. And I would suggest doing a minimum of 16 hours of fasting a day, no more than 2 meals a day, no snacks in between, don't eat late at night, and trigger in a 2-day fast to 3-day fast once a month over the duration of time. Build yourself up to it. And that's going to really help accelerate your weight loss. As far as your workouts are concerned, the mesomorph, I would definitely suggest more of a circuit style routine where you're doing full body workouts, targeting all your major muscle groups, incorporating a lot of core stuff, a lot of things that are off balance, chest presses on stability balls, basic ab exercises, hanging leg raises, mountain climbers, bicycle crunches, high intensity circuit training, high intensity interval training, sprint intervals, those kind of things. You really want to try to amp your metabolism as much as you possibly can. And across the boards, again, I would suggest working out in a fasted state, because I feel that your HGH levels are higher when you're in a fasted state, and you're going to become fat adapted, and it's going to help burn fat in any situation you have. Even if you're an ectomorph, you still want to maintain lean muscle mass. So there is my long talk on the somatotypes and the body types. Now, there are experts out there who have PhDs and everything that say it's bunk. There's no such thing as body types. But there are. I mean, it's just a quick categorization system, really. It's just like saying BMI. And a lot of people, look down their nose at the BMI. But in reality, BMI, body mass index, is just a scale usually used in a quick format in a medical setting by doctors to quickly classify someone's body and say your BMI is over 18, it's over 22, it's 30 something, you need to change things. And yeah, a 5'8" bodybuilder who's 195 pounds of solid muscle can have 8% body fat or 6% body fat and register with a high BMI because they're short and stocky and bulky. And you can't really tell by you can't tell the book by its cover in that situation. But in reality, it's just a quick estimate of what a body style might look like. So that's how the somatotypes work as well. It's just a really quick reference. So don't listen to any of the experts out there that tell you, oh, it's bunk, there's no such thing as body types. There certainly are. I can see people walking down the street and I can tell you instantly what kind of body type they are, and I can use that as a reference. And if someone comes to me for training and I look at their body, I'll know what kind of style body type they are, and I'll know what kind of program to put them through to have them achieve their goals. So that's the long story on somatotypes, body types. This is Kevin David Rail, Chief Fitness Advisor for Wild Warrior Nutrition. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Till next time.